Very good afternoon, students. Today we are going to initiate Unit 2, Prose 2. A nice cup of tea. In the previous class itself, I told you that in the next class we are going to start our next prose. Yes, as per the scheduled plan, we are moving towards the second prose. A nice cup of tea, written by George Orwell. So clear? Prose 2. Name of the prose is what? A nice cup of tea. Who is the author? George Orwell. So we are going to see the first thing, that is the author's biography, and we will see a little bit about introduction and what are things are dealt. We will see one by one. Before we are starting this prose, a nice cup of tea, I would like to share a grammar point. See here, a nice cup of tea. In this title, a nice cup of tea. See, listen, N. The first letter. See here, a nice. After the word nice is there, the first letter is started with the N. It is an you could remember that it is a consonant sound, and also similar, so that article A is used. And nice here it is working as an adjective. Nice, it is working as an adjective. So tea, the root word, the main word is tea, and the nice cup of tea, which means a beautiful cup of tea. A beautiful cup of tea. Very good. I think you people are very interested to have your early morning tea or coffee. Good. You just remember, how do you prepare a tea? Can you remember? Or did you help your mother? Do you help your mother while preparing a tea? Yes, myself, I prepare a good tea for our family members. If my wife is in her absence, I can do tea preparation. Yes. Now move to the author's biography about George Orwell. George Orwell, his birthday is 25th June 1903, and he died in 21st January 1950. Most probably he had lived 47 years, and he had contributed much to the literature, that is English literature. He belongs to British literature. He belongs to British literature. And what is his real name? His real name is Eric Arthur Blair. Eric Arthur Blair. Then what is George? It's a pen name. What's George? It's a pen name. Pen name to who? Pen name to Eric Arthur Blair. What do you mean pen name? Yes, very good. In your family, you are having more names. In attendance register, you will be called, you will be aligned as someone. Whereas the same person can be called at home or by their friends by some other names. That is called a pen name. Yes. Eric Arthur Blair, whose pen name is what? George Orwell. In the literature world, he is very much known as George Orwell than an Eric Arthur Blair. Clear? Right. What are the genres he had played? What are the roles he had played in contributing literature? He is a novelist, he is an essayist, he is a journalist, and also he is a critic. Novelist, you know very well. Essayist, journalist, and critic. Do you know who is a critic? A person, one who criticizes something, one who criticizes others, one who criticizes a social disorder. Yes, George Orwell, who has often criticized the social orders in his society, especially he is very opposite to totalitarianism. Very important word. Clearly keep in your mind that totalitarianism. This is the central idea. This is the central idea in many of his novels. In many of his novels, what may be the central idea of George Orwell? That is a totalitarianism. Totalitarianism is nothing but controlling everybody. That is the controlling of a total people, total life of citizens by someone. It is a dominating everything. You know, tyrannism. You know very well, tyrannism, dictator, like that. So he is just opposite to the totalitarianism. And what are the notable works done by George Orwell? In 1945, he has published Animal Farm. Then in 1949, he had published 1984. These two works belongs to which genre? These two works belongs to novel, under novel. And because of his writings, the Times, you know very well, the magazine in British, they had ranked George Orwell. They have ranked, that is awarded George Orwell by giving the title. What's the title? The 50 greatest British writers since 1945. So since 1945, they had categorized many writers. Among who is one among them? George Orwell, that is Eric Arthur Blair, who was also one among them in the 50 greatest British writers since 1945. This is the rank given by the Times magazine in British. See clear? This is a prose work, A Nice Cup of Tea, written by George Orwell. We have seen the birth and death date of George Orwell, and regarding his real name, Eric Arthur Blair, and what are the roles he had contributed to literature. They are novelist, essayist, journalist, and as a critic also. And also in all his works, where he has given more important in his writing, that is he made social awareness, and also he has straight opposite to, that is the theme, totalitarianism. And the notable works are Animal Farm in 1945 and 1984 in 1949. These are the two notable works written by George Orwell. Moreover, he has written so many works, but as per your text up to 12th level, these are the things you could write in your essay preparation. And what's the rank given to George Orwell by the Times? The 50 greatest British writers since 1945. See, these are the things you could have prepared for your essay. Because each paragraph from prose or poetry or supplementary will be given 5 marks. For getting 5 marks, you could write something about the author's biography, so that your essay will be given more marks. Clear? And now we are going to learn the introduction to A Nice Cup of Tea. Introduction to Nice Cup of Tea. What are the things the author George Orwell had dealt in this prose? Now we move to the next part, that is the introduction part. Clear? In introduction, what he says in introduction? See, tea, the mainstays of civilization in India and Ireland. Clear? Tea, what is the tea? In his introduction, he says that tea, that is the mainstays of civilization. You know, pillars. Mainstays, that is the pillars of civilization. In which country? Especially in India and Ireland. In India and Ireland. He says that in his introduction part, in India and Ireland, tea is the mainstays of civilization. You know very well civilization. You know the basic of culture. Wherever you go, India and Ireland, he says that tea is the main thing. In our family also, whenever a relative comes, we are supposed to welcome them by giving a tea or coffee. Do you remember? Whenever some relatives have come to your home, your parents, especially your mother, gives them gives them tea or coffee. Clear? Or wherever you go, you find wherever the tea is given. And what he says that in the next point, which one is the best tea? He says that Indian and Ceylonese, you know, Sri Lanka. Indian tea and Ceylonese tea, that is Sri Lankan tea, are the best tea, he says in his pros a nice cup of tea. And also he has given 11 outstanding points on preparing. See, listen, he has given 11 outstanding points on preparing and consuming tea, which means that he has given 11 points to prepare a good tea, as well as he gives some important points to consume a tea. So how to drink a tea or how to prepare a tea, for that he has given 11 points in this prose. He said, what are the things he has discussed? See, size of the teacup, size of the teacup, and to the things needed. So what are the things are needed for preparing a tea, as well as the size of the cup of a tea, size of the cup. These are the things he has given more idea in this prose work. We people are always more loud in selecting the cups, you know very well. Somebody can have a glass tumbler and somebody have a light to drink with a silver tumbler at home. And moreover, the kids, they like some cups with the beautiful designs are printed. Clear? So what may be the size of the cup and what are things to be used for preparing a good tea? These are the things he had discussed in this prose. And where he had given his preparation and where he preferred, what are the things he had preferred as tea with the pepper and salt, and see the important point, without milk or sugar. Just to imagine in our country, especially in Tamil Nadu, we people drink tea or coffee. We know black tea, lemon tea, herbal tea. These are the things we are drinking. But we could not imagine a tea without sugar. Am I right? Yes. We can drink tea or coffee without milk, but without sugar, how could we drink? But he says that he prefers tea with pepper and salt. Just imagine pepper and salt. We can have a herbal tea also, so that we can go with the pepper and salt also, as well as we are more concept in herbal tea. And without the milk or sugar, just imagine, without milk we can have, but without sugar, one day we just taste it. And if you check tea in cookery books, see what's the next point he is saying is that if you check any cookery books, you know cookery book, the textbook which deals cooking. The textbook which deals cooking. So many food recipes are there. We people are always much more fond of preparing good food items. So what he says is that if you check any cookery book, there is no point about tea. Even no textbook of cookery items, there is a unmention of tea. Okay, no cookery books has points about how to prepare a tea. And also in that cookery book we do not find any rules and points. We do not find any rules and points to prepare a good tea. So that in this prose he is particularly concentrating on preparing a tea. For that he is giving 11 points. He has given 11 points. So listen again, I repeat. In introduction, the first point he says that the mainstays of Indian or Ireland is what? The mainstay civilization is what? Tea. That is the pillar of our culture. The next thing, he tells us that which one is the best tea? Indian tea and Ceylonese tea, that is Sri Lankan tea. The next thing that he has given us that 11 outstanding points on preparing and consuming tea. How do we prepare a tea and how do we drink a tea? These are the things he has given as a points. And the another thing that what should be the size of a teacup and what are the things do we need for preparing a tea? These are the things he has dealt in this prose. And he prefers that pepper and salt tea and tea without milk or without sugar. And apart from that, the next two important points he has given that if you refer any textbook which deals cooking items, there we do not find any important points or rules and regulations regarding preparing tea. So that he concentrating on preparing tea and has given 11 important points. Among the 11 important points, we are going to see the first point. In 11, he has given 11 important points, but today we are going to see the first point on preparing the good tea given by George Orwell. Listen, what's the first rule? He says that in the first rule itself that he clearly says that we should use Indian or Ceylonese tea. He prefers what? Indian and Ceylonese. He says that Indian and Ceylonese teas are the best tea. As clearly I have told already. See, Indian and Ceylonese is the best tea. Here it's in the first one also. He says that we should use or we should taste Indian or Ceylonese tea. And he says that here he introduced one more tea, that is the country, that is China tea. He is comparing Indian tea with China tea. Clear? In the first rule he says that which one is the best? Indian and Ceylonese tea, that is Sri Lankan tea, are the best. And the next point he says that he is giving some comparison with China and Indian tea. He says that China tea has virtues, virtues. China tea has a moral values. He says that what? China tea has a moral values, and also he says that is economical in the sense that a low cost for preparing Indian tea or China tea. It has somewhat a low price, and we can drink without milk. China tea we can drink without milk, and both China and Indian tea, clear, both China and Indian tea, they do not have much more stimulative power. What is stimulation? Can anyone tell what is stimulation? You can find your text, the word is there in the textbook, which is in a bold, so that it can be asked in synonyms. Refreshing. Clear? Stimulating means what? Refreshing, giving refreshment. Yes, and does not feel wiser. If you drink China tea, you may not feel wiser. Wiser, intelligent, knowledgeable. You may not feel knowledgeable. And braver, you do not have any more power. And you do not have any optimistic thought. Optimistic thought, that is, the positive thought. So, what he says that in China tea, if you drink China tea, we do not have any knowledge, any wiser, any braveness, or any optimistic, that is positive thought. Whereas we can have it and just drink it, that's all. And comparatively with the Indian and China tea, he says that if you drink Indian tea, we can China tea, but we can say that Indian tea is a nice cup of tea. In the first point, he has given 100 marks to Indian tea than China tea. He prefers only Indian tea. See, listen, I again explain the first point. In the first point, he gives some comparison to China and Indian tea, and he says that we should use Indian or Sri Lankan tea, and he says that China tea has more virtues. Virtues means moral values, and which one is economical also. And we can drink the China tea without milk. And if you drink China tea, we do not have any stimulation. That is not refreshment. But we can have it, but that is not much more refreshment, and does not feel wiser, intelligent, or braver, or it may not create any positive sense. And comparatively, he says that Indian tea is the, if you drink Indian tea, we can say just a nice cup of tea, than the China tea. See, listen, today we have seen the author's biography, that is George Orwell's biography, and the introduction in introduction to the prose. What are things he has done in this prose we have seen, and also I explained the first rule. And tomorrow we will see the next points, the next following points. What things has dealt in the next following points. So prepare these things, and tomorrow evening we will be having one more test in these points and about the author's biography and introduction and the first. These are the things you have to prepare for tomorrow's one more test in your English literature. Clear? Thank you. Thank you.